empty. Little dog.
So this is gonna go here. That's gonna go in your hand. Babu, back.
Thank you so much.
This, yeah, no problem. This gotta go here. Otherwise, I'm gonna crunch it right now.
Oh, sorry. I just bumped the.
That's okay. Okay, Babu wants a little water. I can see that. I'm gonna give him a little bit of this.
He just took a gnarly shit.
Okay. Here you go. Here, wait. Here.
With sock and paper towel and a piece of a stick.
There was sock in his poo?
Yep.
How much sock? Where is it? Is it still on the ground?
No, it's in the back.
Oh yeah, dirty boy. Dirty boy. I gotta put more water in there for him. Honey, pour more water in this, please. Hold on, Mom's gonna fill it up. Wait.
Okay.
Oh, I'm getting wet.
Sorry, honey.
That's alright. That's alright. He's got a drink. Okay, that's enough. I mean, he drank. Oh, you fucking asshole. Boy. Was that what you're... Oh, jeez. Did you see that big fucking thing? Hold on. This guy's going back. Oh. Oh, gross. For sure. Super gross.
Giant glob of.
God.
Sit down. Sit down. This is not for the dog. This is for the mama. Does it go around to the police station?
I think so. Isn't that it right there?
Oh, yeah, it is.
I mean, this is it, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
This is where you come get your ticket signed off? Oops, wrong
driveway.
Wrong driveway. This is my first time here.
Sure. Mine too.
I like to hang out with these people on a normal basis. They turn my stomach. I've seen what I've seen. It's heard what I've heard. It's a little on the gross side. When that's the only fucking shady spot in the entire parking lot, and there's a dude sitting there. Yeah, shade for the dog. It's alright.
Just do like we did the last time.
I mean, the sun's not on you 100%, is it?
No.
Oh, my pants are all wet, but whatevs. Alright, I'll see how
You're dog dad.
how it goes. I don't know how long it's gonna take or how much they're gonna need from you. Or I don't know. Stay. No. How are you, sir? So we bought phones from the AT&T store here locally, and it turned out there was a problem with them. And we've been working with Samsung. They suspected that somebody at the store installed some malicious software on our phones before we got them. At any rate, they've urged us to file a police report because there's definitely like a serious privacy violation involved.
Do you know what exactly it was that was on the phones, or?
So And again, this is some of this stuff's a little bit over my head, but the default. Well, give me a minute here. The kernel or some sort of software that was on there is not what it was supposed to come with on the phone, and there were settings that were turned on that would allow somebody to get on the phone or something. It's a bit technical for me, but at any rate, it's
like allow someone remote access to the phone, I'm guessing.
well. So, are you familiar with the do not install or install unknown apps permission? So a bunch of apps had that turned on by default, and then they weren't listed in the place where you go to see all the apps with that permission. And Samsung is saying the only way for this to occur is if somebody had intentionally installed some sort of I don't know what they call it, a kernel or I don't know what it is. It's like not the operating system, but it's something the operating system uses to. At any rate, the phones they say that there's been more permissions escalated, and that it's not just a matter of the camera and the mic being compromised, or text messages being compromised, that it is in fact like the person's able to even make changes on the fly now at this point with how far it's been escalated, I guess. And so the thing is, we're going to go to the AT&T store and obviously tell them, we haven't talked to AT&T, we've only talked to the manufacturer. But I mean, the theory, I guess, would be that somebody's at the store opening the boxes and doing this, and then sealing them back up and putting them on the shelf for people to. And again, this is me completely speculating. I have no idea, to be honest with you. But it's a problem, obviously.
I'm trying to find them now. Did it work? So was any information taken, or
say again?
Was any information taken off the phone?
I don't know that my credit card numbers have been stolen and all that yet. I'm just saying that we definitively know that it is possible at this point, right? That it's.
We have an option online because it's never.
Thank you.
Yeah, let's see if there's an option with our online system, because right now there's no real crime per se that we can take it as. We're really
So that is a crime. That is actually a crime. I mean, installing malicious software on someone's phone for the intention of later using it to steal their credit card number, that in and of itself is a crime.
The thing though is that once it's used, then we can take it as like a fraud report. That's why right now we're trying to figure out what exactly we can do.
I gotcha.
Because we don't really have an exact
penal code number, or?
Yeah, we don't like a penal code. Yeah. More or less, I guess there's a crime, I guess, kind of in the process, but if it's not completed, we don't actually have it.
Well, so I do know.
It's a weird kind of situation.
I do know it's a federal crime, though. I do know it's a federal crime for this to have occurred. And
that's what the Federal Trade Commission handles, is with this kind of malicious software being installed on it. It's not something that like a state level or local level police department.
Right. But Samsung said as part of their investigation that I have to have filed a police report on my end in order for them to effectively take this to resolution.
We would take on our end, because like I said, normally we consider it as fraud if it's led to the person taking your bank account information, social security number, that kind of thing.
Well, so but if they're turning on the camera and looking at my girlfriend change her clothes in the bathroom, or whatever.
Yes, but that would be considered a sex crime.
So just because we don't know that that's currently happening, someone does in fact at this point have the ability to do that.
So that's why I'm trying to figure out, like I said, I'm not saying it's not happening, I'm trying to figure out.
Yeah. I hear you. Oh man, I get it. Well, so here's my thing with that, my problem with that, and I know you're just trying your best to make this. I want this investigated because here's why. How do I know it's not targeted directly at me, and how do I know that it's not going to happen again? And then also, when I'm going to the store and I'm talking about this with the AT&T people, I don't want, even though the phone's only 3 days old, I don't want any feedback from them. But also, what if I'm just, what I said was true, that someone's in the store, an employee there is installing malicious software on the phones, and like 13-year-old girls are getting these phones. I definitely think it's a huge issue.
Yeah, well, that's why we, like I said, we take what are called information only reports are basically something that doesn't have a crime or a penal code associated to it. It's taken on file, so that way there's a report in the system. eventually when it goes down the line, and like you said, it does turn out that this person is taking screenshots through people's phones of them changing, then they go, oh, hey, look, we have a information report,
Well-
we're gonna change this now to.
Wait, though. But that's something you can't prove until, or even, that's something you wouldn't even be aware of until you've actually investigated the situation going on the phone. Then you can actually see the reserve folders and all the other things that are holding pictures in reserve and sending them
But
out.
that has to go to the Samsung first, so that's why they want the police report. Because then they send all the files through. So from my experience, what happens is once this has to have a case number signed to it, so that way they can start doing their investigation.
Sure.
Corporate policy is
Sure.
weird red tape. That's beyond my favorite. That's all the lawyers up there.
I hear you.
So they need a police report on file. Once they say that case number, they do their own internal investigation with these devices.
Okay.
Check, like you said, the kernel.
Okay.
So they check the kernel logs, see if there's been any unauthorized activity. Once they find that, they go, okay, do we have any hidden folders that people
I see.
Once they access it and review it, if they, for example, two options happen. They find a hidden folder, nothing's in it, then they're like, okay, we stop this, we shut it down. That's about as far as Samsung takes it generally. They try to figure out who it's at, once they hit dead end, nothing's happened, they close it out.
But so-
If they do find photos on there, then they turn it back over to us and they're like, hey, we did our investigation from the private sector. We're gonna give this to you guys now because now we have evidence of an actual crime. Now you guys will give you access into our system. So you can do your thing.
So I see how that might work maybe in this situation, but man, as a citizen, knowing what I know about this now and having gone through all this, that's a problem because going that route and having Samsung check the logs on my phone isn't going to say or have any information relevant to how this happened.
No, so
necessarily.
Yeah, no, because with this is one of the things where they will check your phone, they'll check any other phone. That's why the report's on the system. So now they'll probably call that store, ask them, hey, can you check the boxes for any other evidence of tampering?
I see.
Any phones or any boxes you see that have some suspicious, something's off with it.
So this would happen between Samsung and a store because to me that gives the perpetrator time to cover up his crimes, or what if the perpetrator's the guy who answers the phone is doing the checking? Like it just seems like a big like way to ensure that you're never going to find out who did it.
Unfortunately, that's usually how the companies handle this.
Wow.
We only get involved once they let us.
Okay.
Because there's that split between private and public.
Okay.
But again, that's why we want to have at least a police report on file.
Sure.
Because then if down the line, like you said, if someone is found to tampering it, like if it happens to be a manager there at the store.
Sure.
The general manager comes to the store, asks, why are some of these phones kind of funky? They have cameras in the store.
Yeah.
General manager now reviews the cameras, sees manager going into the back, opening these up, sitting there for 30 minutes doing something, putting it back. General manager's gonna be like, okay, now we gotta have a talk with corporate, and now we gotta have a talk with Samsung and the police.
So logically in my head, the reason that just doesn't work, and I'm sorry, maybe I'm just ignorant, but the chain of custody for all that, like for them to be aware there's a situation that requires investigating, not knowing who did it, like it just seems like a huge opportunity to just destroy any potential for real investigative results. Yeah, in my opinion, I'm not a cop. So.
Unfortunately, it's a tricky situation
Yeah.
because there's a lot of intellectual property that's involved in this.
Oh, no kidding.
Most of it is AT&T and Samsung. Working with these companies is always a pain. Probably look at what happened with Apple and then allowing police into Apple phones because of security protocol. There's a whole lawsuit.
Of course. But this isn't a situation, I'm willing to give my password to my phone. This isn't a situation like that.
Yeah, but it's the other phones that haven't been bought yet because that is still property of
Sure.
AT&T and Samsung.
So how about this? So in the process of figuring this out and trying to investigate this, there's been some suspicious things happening on the phone, like my calls are just crackly and weird and they get dropped. Like for me to actually call and try and get a hold of Samsung on this, it took me 3 days. Like I had to actually go to a hotel and use a phone in a hotel to complete a call. Yeah, so I mean, if that doesn't say that, I'm not an expert, I don't know how it works, but that's kind of telling to me anyway, I don't know. But I'll do whatever route you suggest and go from there.
Yeah, so let me check if we can actually do that type of report on, like just through the phone or through online, and we'll go from there.
Okay.
Bye.